What makes Sigma males happy? Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama Sigma males know this truth better than most. They don't chase happiness in the typical ways. They don't measure it by a paycheck, social status, or the validation of others. Instead, their happiness comes from a deeper, more personal place. It's about freedom, autonomy, and the peace that comes with being true to themselves. If you're a Sigma male, what makes you happy won't always make sense to others. It's not about following the usual blueprint for success. It's about carving your own path and doing things in a way that feels authentic to you. Whether it's having the ability to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your values or simply being left to your own devices, happiness for you comes when you're in control. You're not interested in performing for the world. You'd rather create your own version of success, one that doesn't need explaining. If you've ever felt misunderstood, know that it's because you're not like the rest. Your happiness thrives in your independence, your quiet confidence, and your ability to think for yourself. If you're ready to dive deeper into what makes Sigma males truly happy, to understand how these traits shape your life and why your path is one of strength and fulfillment, watch this video. It's time to embrace the power of living life on your own terms. Number 1. Having an emergency exit for every aspect of life. For Sigma males, freedom is everything, and the ultimate form of freedom is knowing they can walk away from any situation without it leaving them shattered. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or even a physical location, they find deep satisfaction in having an emergency exit, a way out that's always available should things take a turn. This isn't about running away at the first sign of discomfort. It's about maintaining autonomy and knowing that no matter how invested they become, nothing is permanent unless they choose it to be. Sigma males are strategic about this, deliberately building lives that have flexible exits. This way, nothing feels like a trap, and they never feel cornered by circumstances, obligations, or expectations. For them, the happiness isn't in the escape itself. It's in the knowledge that they have the option to leave if it no longer serves them. This gives them a sense of control that keeps them grounded, knowing that their choices are always theirs to make. Whether it's quitting a toxic job, walking away from an unhealthy relationship, or moving to a new place, they know they aren't stuck in anything that doesn't align with their growth or well-being. This sense of freedom fuels their confidence. It eliminates the suffocating weight of being trapped in any one scenario. And that is what makes a Sigma male truly happy, being able to create their own reality and having the peace of mind that at any moment they have the power to change it if they so choose. Number 2. Time to pursue passion projects. For Sigma males, freedom is the ultimate currency, especially when it comes to their passions. While the world runs on deadlines and obligations, a Sigma thrives when he's given uninterrupted time to dive deep into what truly excites him. Whether it's creating something from scratch, honing a new skill, or building something tangible, these moments of pure focus are his version of happiness. Unlike most people who may juggle personal passions with constant distractions or external pressures, Sigmas need total autonomy to engage with their interests. The key? The freedom to work at their own pace, no deadlines, no expectations, just pure, uninterrupted immersion. This is when their creativity and drive flourish, and when they feel most alive. In these moments, time becomes irrelevant. It's not about the outcome, it's about the process. Whether they're painting a canvas, writing a book, or tinkering with an invention, the flow state takes over and everything else fades away. For a Sigma, nothing compares to the satisfaction of engaging fully with something they love without the weight of outside pressures weighing them down. This is where their happiness truly spikes, in the ability to create, to learn, and to build, without limits, without interruption. It's the pure joy of having control over their own time and the freedom to explore the depths of their own mind and talents. This time, this freedom is what fuels their soul. Number 3. Creating their own reality, not accepting the default one. Most people are handed a script for life. Go to school, get a job, climb the ladder, settle down, retire, and hope you've made enough money to enjoy whatever time you have left. Sigma males look at that script, raise an eyebrow, and toss it aside. They don't live by default settings. They question everything, break the mold, and build a life that actually makes sense to them. The world is filled with invisible rules, what you should do, how you should behave, what success is supposed to look like. But Sigma males don't just follow rules, they dissect them. They ask, who created this rule? Does it actually make sense? Or is it just another trap to keep people in line? If the answer doesn't hold up, they reject it. And that's what makes them so powerful. They don't just play the game, they rewrite it. Instead of chasing job promotions, they build income streams that give them control. Instead of following social norms, they craft relationships on their own terms. Instead of fearing uncertainty, they embrace it, because uncertainty means freedom. This isn't about rebellion for the sake of it, it's about owning your existence. Sigma males aren't interested in what's normal, they're interested in what works. And nothing makes them happier than knowing they aren't just another cog in the machine. They're the ones designing the machine itself. If you've ever felt like you were born to live differently, that feeling isn't wrong. It's your instinct telling you that the default world was never built for you in the first place. So why accept it? Number 4, money that feels like escape fuel, not chains. For most people, money is about status, luxury, or proving something to the world. They grind for promotions, chase high salaries, and measure success by material possessions. But Sigma males, they see money as pure leverage. To them, wealth isn't about showing off. It's about having the power to walk away from anything that doesn't serve them. This is why Sigma males handle money differently. They don't waste it on impressing people. They don't tie themselves down with flashy lifestyles that demand constant upkeep. Instead, they stack their resources quietly, not because they want to hoard wealth, but because they understand a brutal truth. Whoever needs money the least has the most control. A Sigma male's happiness isn't found in having money, it's found in what money allows them to do. The ability to quit a toxic job without hesitation. The power to say no to a bad deal, a controlling partner, or an environment that stifles their growth. The knowledge that they don't have to tolerate disrespect or compromise their freedom just to survive. While others chase financial success to feel secure, Sigma males chase it to remain untouchable. They aren't looking for a golden cage, they're looking for an exit door that's always open. And the moment they reach that level of financial independence, that's when they finally breathe. That's when they're truly free. Number 5. Outsmarting systems instead of fighting them head-on. Most people believe they have two choices when faced with a system they don't like: fight it or submit to it. Alphas charge headfirst into battle, trying to dominate and bend the system to their will. Betas comply, following the rules without question. But Sigma males, they don't do either. They outthink the whole game. Sigma males understand that most systems, whether it's corporate hierarchies, social expectations, or financial traps, are rigged to keep people stuck. Fighting directly against these structures is exhausting and often pointless because the system itself is designed to absorb resistance. So instead, they take a different route. They find loopholes, alternative paths, and hidden advantages that allow them to bypass obstacles entirely. They see through the distractions, mindless competition, office politics, fake success markers, and focus on what actually works. Instead of fighting a broken system, they ask, how can I move through this in the most efficient way possible? They use intelligence, strategy, and a detached perspective to quietly maneuver around obstacles while everyone else is busy struggling against them. This is why Sigma males often succeed in ways that confuse people. They don't play by the same rules because they've already rewritten them in their minds. And nothing makes them happier than knowing they beat the system without ever having to fight it, just outthink it. Pure bliss. Number 6. Holding power without seeking recognition. Most people want power for one reason: to be seen as powerful. They crave titles, validation, and applause, hoping the world will recognize their status. But Sigma males, they don't care if anyone knows. They only care that they have it. To them, real power isn't about flashing wealth, boasting about connections, or flexing influence. It's about quiet control, knowing they can walk away from any situation without consequence. knowing they can pull strings without ever stepping into the spotlight, knowing they hold the upper hand even when no one realizes it. And that's what makes Sigmas different. They don't need a throne to rule. While Alphas seek dominance and recognition, Sigmas operate in the shadows, moving through life like a ghost with influence. They gather knowledge that others overlook. They build financial strength without making a spectacle of it. They position themselves in ways that give them leverage without anyone even noticing. This silent power is what truly satisfies them. Because while others waste energy proving themselves, Sigmas are already in control, without lifting a finger. They don't need applause, they don't need validation. They just need to know that, when the moment comes, they can act. And no one will see it coming. And that feeling? That's true happiness. Number 7, the freedom to call out hypocrisy. Sigma. Males thrive in a world where authenticity is rare. They have an almost instinctual ability to spot hypocrisy and double standards the moment they emerge. What makes them truly happy isn't the drama of confrontation. It's the freedom to call out fake behavior and reveal the contradictions that everyone else is too afraid to acknowledge. In a society where people wear masks, constantly trying to fit into molds or pretend to be something they're not, a Sigma takes a step back and sees through the illusion. They don't need validation, applause, or a platform to expose the truth. It's not about winning the argument. It's about speaking their truth in a world where so many prefer silence over honesty. The real satisfaction comes when they can point out the inconsistencies, whether it's in business, social dynamics, or everyday interactions, and do it without getting sucked into the noise. They don't need to raise their voice to be heard. Their words carry weight because they are backed by a solid foundation of truth and understanding. For the Sigma male, there's something deeply satisfying about watching the world pretend to be something it's not, and having the courage to speak up anyway. They aren't afraid to expose the cracks in the system, the inconsistencies in people's behavior, or the lies everyone else turns a blind eye to. And that ability, that power to reveal what others try to hide, it's pure bliss. Number 8, being misunderstood in the right way. For Sigma males, being misunderstood isn't always a problem. It can actually be a source of quiet satisfaction. When people can't fully grasp who they are or what they stand for, it often serves to reinforce their independence. Instead of being frustrated by the confusion, they actually embrace it because it keeps others at a safe distance. Misunderstandings, when they come, usually arise from others' inability to fit the Sigma into their neatly packaged ideas of how people should behave. This misinterpretation becomes a protective layer, a shield that keeps the unnecessary drama, unwanted attention, and superficial relationships at bay. People may think they're too complicated or hard to figure out, but to the Sigma, that's a badge of honor. Rather than scrambling for validation or trying to explain himself to those who will never truly understand, the Sigma sees these moments as opportunities to keep his world small and authentic. He doesn't need others to understand him. His happiness doesn't depend on fitting into their boxes. In fact, the more they misunderstand him, the more space it creates for him to be himself without interference. So when the world labels him as complex or distant, he smiles inwardly, knowing that his solitude is preserved and that his independence is only further solidified. Misunderstanding, in this case, becomes an unexpected ally. It keeps things simple by keeping others out of his inner world, allowing him to operate in peace. Number 9, knowing he's not needed, but wanted. For Sigma males, there's a crucial distinction between being needed and being wanted, and it's not just semantics. It's a matter of deep personal satisfaction. Being needed often comes with a sense of duty, obligation, and dependency that can feel suffocating. It's the weight of being relied on for someone else's happiness, stability, or sense of purpose. That kind of reliance drains a Sigma male, pulling him away from the freedom he cherishes. But to be wanted, that's different. Wanting someone means they bring something of value to the table that goes beyond what they can do for others. It's about being appreciated for who they are, not just what role they play in someone's life. There's an energy, a certain kind of respect, that comes from knowing someone values your presence, your essence, rather than relying on your efforts to fill their void. This is where Sigma males find true happiness. They crave mutual respect, a relationship based on equal footing, where both parties offer value in their own unique ways. There's no pressure to constantly perform or to be someone's emotional crutch. Instead, both people are free to be their authentic selves, knowing that their worth isn't defined by how much they give, but by the genuine connection they share. For Sigma males, this mutual respect isn't just energizing, it's empowering. It allows them to move through life with purpose and without the weight of someone else's needs hanging over them. The joy lies in knowing they are wanted, not because someone can't live without them, but because they are valued for who they truly are. Number 10. Living in a way that makes no sense to others. For Sigma males, there's something deeply satisfying about living life in a way that completely baffles others. They don't make choices to shock or rebel. It's not about standing out for the sake of it. It's about making decisions that reflect their true independence, choices that make perfect sense to them, even if they defy conventional logic or expectations. The joy comes when people scratch their heads puzzled and asking, "Why would you do that?" Because it means they are doing something that no one else would dare. It's in those moments when they realize they are charting their own course, free from the influence of societal norms, peer pressure, or anyone else's definition of success. This isn't a matter of being difficult or contrary. Sigma males simply find happiness in living authentically, making decisions based on what aligns with their values, not what others think is best. When their path makes others uncomfortable or confused, it only confirms that they're not conforming to the prescribed life script, because they know that their journey is genuinely theirs. The beauty of this freedom is that it allows Sigma males to cultivate their own identity without being shackled by external judgment. When everyone else is focused on the why of their choices, Sigma males are already a step ahead, living their lives in a way that doesn't need to be explained. And in that sense, every choice they make becomes a victory of personal sovereignty, proof that they are living on their own terms. Number 11. Knowing they owe no one an explanation for how they live. For Sigma males, the highest form of happiness is the freedom that comes with living life on their own terms, without ever feeling the need to justify their choices to anyone. They don't seek validation or approval from others. They don't need it. The moment they embrace this truth, they unlock a profound sense of peace. In a world where people are often caught up in explaining themselves, seeking approval, or trying to meet the expectations of others, Sigma males stand apart. Their happiness comes from knowing that they answer to no one. Whether it's the way they choose to live, the decisions they make, or the paths they walk, there's no need to explain. They simply exist, free from the pressure of making their choices palatable for others. This doesn't mean they're indifferent or callous. It's just that their self-worth is not tied to the opinions or judgments of the crowd. They've cultivated unshakable confidence in their ability to navigate life on their own terms. They know that their choices are their own, and they stand firm in the belief that they don't owe anyone an explanation for them. True freedom for Sigma males isn't just about doing what they want, it's about doing it without the weight of external expectations. No permission asked, no validation needed. Just pure, unfiltered freedom. And with that comes a happiness that others can't quite comprehend, but that they wouldn't trade for anything. Conclusion. What makes Sigma males happy? At the end of the day, what truly makes Sigma males happy is the freedom to live life on their own terms, untouched by the expectations or judgments of others. Their happiness isn't found in the chase for external validation or recognition, but in the quiet confidence of knowing they don't need permission to be who they are. Sigma males thrive in the spaces between the rules, where they can create their own reality, outsmart flawed systems, and carve out paths that others might not even see. They find joy in the power to control their environment without being controlled by it. It's the satisfaction of holding their own without needing to be celebrated for it. They understand the value of detachment from toxic people, unnecessary drama, and societal norms, and are happiest when they can cut through the noise to focus on what truly matters to them. They don't get bogged down by the superficial. Instead, they're drawn to what's real, to intellectual challenges, and to the deep, meaningful connections that come from true understanding. So, if you're a Sigma male reading this, remember, your happiness doesn't depend on fitting in, on having all the answers, or on following the crowd. Your power lies in your ability to stay true to yourself, to make your own choices, and to find contentment in the small moments that reflect your independence and self-reliance. You are your own source of happiness. Keep embracing your authenticity, continue building your world in your own image, and trust that the path you walk is the one that leads to fulfillment.